What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to G-Ball Vision. Today, we got a quick one for you guys. I asked the question not too long ago in a short form video, which one would you choose? The Oz Machine Company Roosevelt here, or the Koenig Aras? And because these knives will be leaving my hand soon, I kind of wanted to get both of them in the same video and kind of propose that question to all of you guys watching. Which one of these would you take and why? Let me know down in the comments. So we'll talk quickly or briefly about each one. As you can see here, just based on this picture perfect spot, you can see that the Rosie is quite a bit smaller than the full-size Aras here. They do make a mini Aras, which would probably be a little more comparable to this size. But as they sit right now, the regular Rosie and the regular Aras, which one would you pick and why? This one is coming in Magna Cut with a DLC'd drop point blade. You have this kind of half moon cutout for your deployment, which actually works very good. I can say I do like this knife. It's a little smaller than I typically would buy, but with that being said, I'm still going back to it, guys. It reminds me of the Nimble in my hand in the sense that you have this nice full choke up spot. You have this kind of drop point blade. The Nimble blade shape is different. The handle is different. But I'm saying in its size and its comfort, that's what it kind of reminds me of. And that's how I felt since the first time I've held this thing. Very, very well done. You have this kind of crossed titanium milled pattern, DLC'd hardware, Zircuti pocket clip. Just a nice piece of gear right here. Titanium backspacer. I love that full choke up area. It's going to give you a lot of control over that blade there. Going to be able to get right up on that tip, and I mean right up on it. Definitely a nice secondary fifth pocket type of knife right here. And I can see why a lot of people love this knife. Now, let's talk about the Aras here. Now, I will be transparent, and I already showed it in the overview of this knife, and if you didn't see it, I'll try to remember to link it, or you can just go look for yourself. But we test the locks on both of these, and the Rosie does hold up. The Aras, it does fail in the right spot with the right amount of force. So why is it failing? We don't know. I don't know, and I won't have them, when we find out. Hopefully it's just a break-in thing or some oil or what have you, because this is a fairly new knife. Coming in M390, we have a nice drop point blade. I love this two-tone finish. I'm not sure what they call this here, but you have kind of a hand satin up here on the flats. And then this is more like I don't know what you would call it, kind of like a tumbled finish almost, like a mirrored tumble finish. I don't know, but it looks very good. It's very eye-catching. The cutout and the flipper tab, this is one of the most well-tuned knives that I have ever handled. It does take some getting used to how the cutout is placed and the distance it is from the handle, but once you get used to it, it's very nice to deploy this thing. It's a very satisfying feeling to flick this guy out because it's so well tuned. I would, if I were to get one of these, I would get something just like this. I would want the cutout and I would want the flipper. I know a lot of guys, or half the guys out there, want the flipper. The other half do not. I think you're missing out on a nice deployment method with that flipper tab if you don't have it. And the guys who say it would get in the way of their ergos, guys, the guys that are saying that are not going to be using this to the point where that matters. So you're just not. And if you are, I really would like to hear from you. I know there are people who do, will buy a knife like this and use it hard. But for the majority, you're not. You're going to buy this. You're going to throw it in your pocket. You're going to open and close it. You're going to cut some cardboard. You're going to cut some shit you find around the house. But you're not going to take this to a job site and be cutting concrete bags open, and you're just not. So to say that's going to be in the way, I'm not. I don't buy that. Just say that you don't like flipper tabs or whatever. But I've heard some guys say it would get in my way of my ergos and my cutting. You're full of shit. Nice titanium handle. I love how they jimp and kind of chamfer this lock bar. It's very comfortable and very easy to disengage. The ease of disengagement, I don't know if maybe that has something to do with it failing, because it's comfortable and very easy to move that lock bar out of the way. I don't know if that is playing a role in it. I don't know if there's oil on the lock face as to why it's failing. But other than that, this thing is beautiful. It's a great knife. It's a knife that I did not expect to really like. Not that I didn't expect to like it, but I didn't expect that I would like it as much as I do. I've seen a lot of videos, a lot of pictures of it, and it just was like, yeah, that's nice. But I wasn't about to go out on the hunt for one of these and try, every waking moment to get one. And I still won't, even after handling it. If the opportunity arises and, I can get one at a decent price, I might do it. But it's still not something that I'm just like, it's good, and I like it a lot. And someday I probably will get one, and when they do an XL Rosie, I'll probably get one of those. But I'm not going to pay the money for something in this size for something like this. I would prefer it to be quite a bit bigger than this guy is. So this one, just based on its size alone, is out for me. Now, would I buy one if it was like $400 or $500 and, I would buy one then. Even $500, $600, yeah, I would get one then. But I'm not going to pay much more than that for just this size. And I'm not saying the pricing relates to the size. I'm just saying for my preferences, I don't see myself spending that kind of money on a knife of this size. That's just how I work. Everybody has their corks. That's one of mine. If this was 8.5 inches overall or so, then I could definitely get on board with trying to snag one, which I don't know what the XL size will be, but that one will probably be more in my line of view. Now, with this being quite a bit bigger, just based on that alone, if I had to pick one, this is where I would go, right? Because of the size, if we're talking about these two. Now, I like the aesthetic of this one better, but I like that this one has a flipper tab. I do like the ergos on this one a little bit better because of that full finger choil. So you kind of teeter-totter back and forth. I've been trying to figure this out, which one would I take and why, ever since I asked that question a week or so ago when I did on a short form video. I still don't, I'm not 100% sure. I think if this was upscaled and this size of the Aras here, I would probably, even though it doesn't have a flipper, I would probably go here. Now, I don't typically like a knife that has quite this much belly. I like it to have a little bit more of a straight edge and then go into the belly. This is more of a continuous belly from the sharpening choil area all the way up to the tip there, where the Aras, you have a nice little straight, then your belly starts, and then you get to your tip. So I tend to like this blade shape a little more, but I still like the aesthetic of this guy here. So I've really, really went back and forth with this. But based off these two, I will go with the Aras on this one between these exact two knives. Now, when the XL comes out, that might sway my decision. But this thing has such incredibly good action and tied together. The ergos on this, even though it has no full finger choil, this thing is extremely comfortable. The way this is designed, and it flares here and then kind of tapers back down, it really fits in my hand very well. Everybody's hands are different. What you like is going to be different than what I like. Smaller hands might like something more like this, or even people with big hands like small knives like this. So it's really going to be dependent on what you prefer. But just based off the size, this is still extremely comfortable. I do prefer this blade shape, and I like the ability of the multi-deploying options with the flipper tab, and you have the cutout, and combine that with an extremely well-tuned detent. And I mean, I don't think it could be any better. I think this is like, could it be a touch stronger? Maybe. But, yeah, a touch. But, I mean, for what it's worth and all things considered, this thing is tuned very, very well. I've become a huge fan of this knife when I didn't think I would. And I've also become a fan of the Rosie as well. I still am not going to be a lunatic and spend every waking moment trying to get one of these. I'm not that, obsessed with them at this point. After getting a feel for them and getting them both in hand, I have come to the conclusion that I do like both of them. That someday I probably will end up with both of them, but not the regular Rosie. It'll probably be the XL that I end up with someday, and then the full-size Aras as well. I'm spending that kind of money. I want a full-size knife and, something at least this size or so. So that's kind of my shtick. But let me know what you think. Let me know which one you would choose. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for me. I greatly appreciate it when you do that, guys. It helps the video out, helps the channel out, helps get the video circulated. Leaving comments and answering other people's comments, that also really helps the videos out. If you're new here or you've been here before and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you here. We have lots of stuff coming down the pipe, baby, so you're going to want to stay tuned. We're coming up on 6K real quick, so we'll be having the 6K giveaway very, very soon. Love you all. Thank you for watching. Let me know which one you're picking and why. And I will catch you guys on the next one.